Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Marie here from Nicole Designs, and I know I haven't posted videos lately. That's because my family has been going through a lot of transitions and a lot of busyness. We're getting ready to move again, so I'm going to be posting this card that I've actually made quite a while ago, but I thought I'd just post the video for it, and then once we get settled, hopefully I'll get back to my channel, get back to creating and sharing content for all of you. So thanks for stopping in today and watching, and I hope you enjoy the video. So I'm using Scrapbook.com's mini heart balloon dies, and I thought these were so cute, and I wanted to use the heart shapes to make little mini shaker windows with. So you can see here I am just sort of mapping out my hearts, kind of spacing them out evenly. I'm going to make 3 heart openings like you see here, and then with the little cutout pieces I'm going to fill in the other spots. So we're going to have 2 rows of 3 or 3 rows of 2, but we're going to have 6 little hearts on the front of this card. So I taped those down, I run them through my Spellbinders machine, and I cut those out. Now the one is a outline die, so that's just a plain little heart balloon there. The other 2 have little designs on them, like a stripe or some little polka dots, and you'll be able to see those better when I ink blend them. But here is the front panel of my card, and like I mentioned, I'm going to put those other heart cutouts, space them in between my little windows, and I'm going to make a nice little pattern on the front of my card. So I'm just kind of mapping out how I want them to be, what I want this to look like, so that I can go ahead and move on with the ink blending. I am going to be using my Distress Oxide inks today, and I'll kind of mention what colors I'm using. But first I want to make sure that the front panel here is going to match up perfectly with my card base, because I'm going to do this right on my card base. So I'm using a little pencil here just to mark the outlines of my hearts really lightly so I know where to ink blend. I'm going to put some color behind these windows. And I wanted to do sort of a rainbow theme of colors, you know, go from red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. I'm using some of my mint tape with the mint tape dispenser, and what I'm doing is grabbing some tape, taping off the edges so that as I ink blend, I don't go past the edges of that front card panel. I want a nice clean white matting around my front card panel there, and the cat likes to walk over my crafts all the time. And so I'm going to mask that off so that after I put my ink on there, I'm still going to have that nice clean white border frame around. So I'm just masking it off. Don't want the ink to go there. It's going to protect that area. And it's holding it down to my little non-stick mat thing here that I'm going to be ink blending on. So sticking that down, I've got that all measured out, mapped out, and now we're going to do some ink blending. So I have my first color here. I can't remember the name, and I can't see it on there. It might be like Festive Berries or something, but I will have it all linked down in the description. And I also have more pictures of this project at my Scrapbook.com gallery that you guys can go over and check out. So if you want to know the colors, you'll be able to see them all if you check those things out down in the description. Anyway, so my first color here was red, and I'm doing the windows. So I'm going to skip ahead to green because that's going to be the next window heart that we've seen. So I'm using the cracked pistachio for this one. I really love that greenish bluish color. I thought it would just be really fun on this rainbowy type card. Now I'm using my Scrapbook.com domed ink blending tools because I really like that domed shape. It gives you a really nice soft blend, and they're just the ones that I typically grab when I can. Now I'm moving on to my blue. I believe this is peacock feathers. That's another color that I really enjoy, so I wanted to get that in here on this card. And you can see that I have my colors all ink blended here behind my hearts. So I'm going to take my card and move it to the side. And I want to kind of decide which hearts I'm going to put in these spaces here, and then go ahead and ink blend those as well, following that rainbow pattern, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. So I'm moving on to my orange color, which I believe is ripe persimmon. But again, go ahead and check out that description box for all of the inks and different links to more photos and things. I'll have it all listed down below. So I'm just moving on with my ink blending, just really basic, using my tool, applying my ink, and I'm going to set those aside as I get them finished. So I have all of those pieces colored and finished, and I'm just going to start to assemble. So I'm peeling off that mint tape. I love that it is a very low tack so that it won't peel or rip your paper as you peel it off, but you can also use it again. So I typically go ahead and stick that mint tape onto my die cutting machine, so it's right there if I need to tape something down while I'm running it through my machine, or I know where my tape is if I need to tape something down while I'm ink blending again. But here are all my little hearts, all colored, all in rainbow order. It makes me so happy. We're going to be adhering those hearts onto the front later, but first I want to build my window. So I had mentioned I'm making little shaker windows from these, which is really fun. So I'm using a sheet of Scrapbook.com's Acetate, and I'm going to glue this behind my card panel. So I'm adhering it behind my little windows here. I'm using some of this Artis glue. I'm going to put some glue around the edges, and I'm going to make sure I put glue around each heart. I want it to seal those little windows really well so that it all sticks down, and then we can put all of our little shaker bits in later on after we've applied our foam adhesive. So I've got my glue down. I'm just going to layer my acetate on there, make sure it's all sticking, and then I will have to trim off that extra acetate. Now I love that Scrapbook.com sells these acetate sheets, great for windows and shaker cards. If you don't have any of that, I have in the past also used some junk mail that has those clear plastic windows, or packaging. If you open a package and you have the clear bag, you could use those as well. But I love that I have this package of acetate. It's a little bit heavier, more durable than those packaging bags that you might get. It doesn't warp or crinkle as much, so it gives you just a really nice window, and it's really handy just to have them to grab and make shakers with. But if you don't have them and you still want to make a shaker, you can use some packaging bags if you have them. Now I'm going to build my little foam areas around my windows that I can put my shaker bits into. And for this, I usually like to grab these really thin strips of foam adhesive from Scrapbook. If you take the backing paper off, and so it's all sticky, they're really easy to bend and shape around your windows so that you can easily make a circle out of them like I did and just enclose that little shaker area. Now I'm using some of these clear sequins from Picket fence, and again I'm going to have these listed down below if you want them, but if you wanted to do lots of fun colors, you could do that as well. Just use whatever sequins or beads that you might have on hand. You can also use glitter, but I don't typically put them in shakers because they're easier to spill out and they're more of a pain to clean up. Glitter can make a mess, so I don't typically do glitter. But anyway, so what I'm doing here is I'm putting another piece of acetate on top of my little shaker areas. You don't have to, but I decided to because it was going to be really hard for me to line this up and center it on my card base by putting my base on top of my foam adhesive. So I wanted to pick up this whole panel with all of the shaker bits in it, turn it around and center it like you see me doing, but I didn't want the shaker bits to fall out. So I went ahead and I sealed it up with some more acetate on the back side, and that way it lets you pick it up, turn it over, center it, and adhere it down without you losing all of those little shaker bits. And then you can see, you know, once it's all adhered down, you can start shaking it around, getting all those fun little shaker bits all shaked up. So I did mention earlier that we're going to go ahead and we are going to adhere these little hearts down. So that's what we're doing. I'm using some more foam shapes from Scrapbook. They have these circle pieces. So I'm putting about 2 of them on each of my little hearts, and I'm just centering them and sticking them down. Super easy, super fun, and I love the shaker element with those rainbow hearts. I think it just looks so cute. Now you could just slap a little sentiment on here and call it a day, but I decided to do something a little bit different, so I'm going to be showing you that here. So I'm actually going to be grabbing another die set from Scrapbook. It's this one that's got those love sentiments and some more hearts and things. I'm grabbing that xoxo die, just not the outline part, but the one that cuts out the actual pieces. And I love that the O's are hearts. I think that's just so cute and fun. I'm cutting those out of some black cardstock, and I'm going to be using the X's and the hearts and the solid pieces that came out of the middle of the hearts. And I'm just using my tweezers and arranging them on the front of my card. Kind of lining them up with what's already there, but this is going to double as my sentiment. Hugs and kisses. I think anybody that gets this gets the idea and the theme. I don't need to put any more words on this. But I also love the black in contrast with all of those bright colors. It looks very clean, but it looks very bright without being overwhelming. So if you ever want to just add a little more oomph to your cards, put some black with your bright colors. It's just going to make everything pop. So I'm using my Artis glue and I'm just arranging those and sticking them down, and that finishes today's card. I hope this has given you some ideas, some tips, some inspirations on making your own shaker cards. Use those tiny dies to make windows and just fill them up with some fun shaker bits. Anyway, don't forget to check out the description box below. Hit the thumbs up if you like this video, share, subscribe, comment, just do all the things, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye.